Hello everyone and welcome to the academic writing class. So today we will talk about these terms in academic writing: titles, organization, how to evaluate a text, purpose, register, choosing the key points, note taking, and paraphrasing. We'll talk about each of them by turns. So first, let's talk about titles and developing plans from the titles. Titles are the most important things in writing. They are the starting points for each piece of writing, because before you start your writing, you're going to choose a title. So your title is the decision maker for your writing. So title tells the readers what the rest of the writing parts are about. So you need to be very careful about your writing. And all the titles need some key terms, some keywords, which are usually the very important words in any piece of writing. So you need to be careful about your writing and the keywords you are going to focus on in your writing. The organization for any piece of writing, even if it's an essay, if it's a report, if it's an article, or anything, is starting from introduction, body, and conclusion. This organization is also usually called like schematic organization, or the organization which is the general organization for all the things, like the start, the middle, and the end. Some of the keywords which can be used, for example, in titles usually, in any piece. These words can be like analyze, which you are going to look for the relationships in a piece of writing. So if you are going to write the word analyze in your writing, it means you are going to find the relationships between the parts of writing. And describe, if you're going to use the word describe in your writing, you're going to find a detailed account of something. You're going to explain, elaborate the all detail in a piece of writing. Examine. In an examine, you're going to divide the sections and you're going to study or discuss the things critically. You're going to make a critic. State. In a state, you are going to give your simple account or your clear vision or your clear idea or concept about something. Suggest. In a suggest, you are going to give a suggestion, give a proposal. You are going to suggest something. And summarize. In a summarize, if you're going to use the word summarize in your title, so your piece of writing is going to talk about the main points in something. So this is the main organization structure or the schematic structure we mentioned before, like introduction, body, and conclusion. Is the general structure or the general organization for any piece of writing. So there is an example for the organization. For example, we are going to write something about the discussing of benefits of waking up early. So this is the title, and you see the title has the word discuss. We said before, so these are the key words. Discuss. You're going to discuss. You're going to talk about something with details. So benefits of waking up early. This is the title. And let's see the introduction In introduction of this topic, you are going to define what waking up early means, like what specific time you consider about the wake early. So what by the word early you mean? You are going to give an introduction here. In the body of such kind of writing, you are going to talk about the benefits and drawbacks of waking up early by one by one. So with all the detail and explanations. Summarize. Summarize is usually done in the conclusion. So there are two ways for summarizing the key, not the key points, for summarizing all the writing. You are going to summarize by something memorable. You are going to mention something surprising to the readers. Or sometimes you are going to restate all the main points which you discussed earlier. So this is the basic organization. So all pieces of organization should have all pieces of writing should have these elements: introduction, body, and conclusion. Now we talk about evaluating a text. So evaluating is something very important in our writing. In evaluating, you are going to assess the usefulness of any text you read. You are going to think about the text you are reading. Is it something good, or is it something not very reliable, or not something very valid? So it's very important for your writing. So there are two things usually we are dealing with in writing. Those can be fact and opinion. So let's see what fact is. This is a statement that can be proven as true and false through information. The facts usually have measurable numbers, statistics, and dates. Facts can be positive and negative, both. So facts are the information which can be proven as true or false through finding information. So if something is true, you can prove it if it's true or not by searching about it, by finding out about it. You can see if it's false or not by finding information about it. So facts can be positive and negative, both. For example, chocolate is the best ice cream flavor. So now, this is an example of a fact. It can be true or false. For some people, it can be true. For some other people, it can be false. Because it is a fact. So it's a fact, it can be true or false. So facts can be true and false, both. My friend has 3 children. This is a fact. You can prove it by finding information about his friend, if he really has 3 children or not. So facts can be true and false, both. Another point about facts is that facts can be negative, but still it's a fact. Yes, some people will think that facts can always be positive. So they think something that's positive is a fact, and something that's negative is not a fact. Although this is not true. Facts can be negative and positive, both. Here is an example. Many experts agree that smoking daily can improve your health. So this is a fact, although it's a negative fact, but still it's a fact. Whether it talks about the drawbacks or the harms, or not the drawbacks, it talks about the benefits of smoking, which is a negative thing, but still it is a fact. The next thing which is very important for evaluating a text is opinion. So what is opinion? Opinion is an expression of someone's feelings and emotions that cannot be proven. You cannot prove someone's opinion. It can be true for some people and false for others. So something can be positive and something can be negative, depending on the people's feelings and emotions. For example, my close friend has a very nice car. So, this car is a nice car, but it's only nice for his friend. Maybe some other people will not see it nice. So this is an opinion. An opinion cannot be proven. You cannot see if it's really nice because it's only based on emotions and feelings. Some people will see it nice while others will see it not nice and ugly. So usually we use some of the words like the best, the most, and other value words, the words which really carry some value and worth. And the next thing that's important for evaluating the text is to ask yourself these questions. Is this fact or opinion? So when you are reading something, you need to ask yourself if you're reading facts or opinions. If it's a fact, so you think it's a fact, is it true or is it false? If it's true, is it reliable and trustworthy? Does it come from a reliable source? Is it written by someone who can be trusted on? If it's an opinion, if you decide that you are reading someone's opinion, so do I agree? Do you agree? Is it something you believe or you do not believe? So these are some of the questions you need to ask yourself while you're reading. So now we talk about the purpose and register, the two other important things in writing. So after that you make sure you are reading something reliable, so you need to look for the purpose and register. There are different purposes for any piece of writing. Generally, we have these four purposes: to persuade, to inform, to entertain, to describe. Sometimes you are going to write to persuade something, to persuade someone. Sometimes you are going to give information. Sometimes you are going to write something for entertaining people or our readers. And sometimes you are going to describe, to give explanations about something or to give more information about something. So for understanding the purpose and register, so purpose can be found by looking at these features in any writing. You need to look for the language style, how the language is used, vocabulary, which vocabulary is used. Is the vocabulary, for example, academic, non-academic, technical, or what other language is used? Tune. You need to look for the tune of the writing. Is it formal? Is it informal? Or is it something between the formal and informal? You need to look for the register. What is register? Register is the specific language, the technical language used in a specific field. So you can find the purpose by looking at these four features in any text. So here are two pieces of writing. So let's see what the purpose is. So the first one, A, which is about Rebus College is seeking candidates for the position of treasurer in blah blah blah. So and the next one is, are you wondering what to do with that jumper you were given for Christmas? So if you carefully analyze and examine these two pieces of writing, you will see that the first one is writing to inform someone, to give information. So the purpose is to inform the reader about the job vacancy. And the second one is written to persuade the readers. It's going to give a kind of impression to the readers so that they can be convinced about something. So see, the language time, the register, and also the other things are different in these two pieces of writing. The first one uses very formal vocabulary like seeking, position, and implement. The second one uses some of the informal words. So the tune is informal, and also the pronoun you. So you see, the second one is using you. Are you wondering what to do with that jumper you were given for? You see, the language tune is not very formal. It's very casual, very informal. So we are not supposed to write the you. The language is very direct. The language should not be direct in formal writing or in academic writing. And also it uses some kind of questions inside the text. We are not supposed to put questions in our academic writing inside the text. So see an example here. The personal stereo that simply doesn't work. So you see, it's a question. We are not going to put questions in our writing. So you see, all these features in these two pieces of writing are different. The language style, the tune, the vocabulary, the register, the purpose, and all the things are different. So all pieces of writing have their own purpose, and the purpose is usually found from those styles, tune, vocabulary, and register. So what register is? So register, as we mentioned before, is a kind of specific and peculiar language used in a specific field of study, for example. Usually we can call it jargon. Like we have different kinds of registers. Technical register, medical register, academic register, and so on. So students should be careful about the register they are going to use. You should know which kind of register you are supposed to use in any piece of writing, because registers are different from field to field. So for the academic writing, we are supposed to write academic register. Next is selecting the key points in a piece of writing. So every piece of writing has their own key points. So in reading any text, you need to be careful of choosing any specific key points which you need for your writing. For example, it's very hard to bring peace to Afghanistan. So if you read this text, you will find that there are three key points in this. Like first, Afghan people are not united, and second, the neighbor country, and third, it has always been a battleground. So these are the key points in this piece of writing. So anytime you are going to read any piece of writing, you need to look for the key points and then find the one which you really need for your piece of writing. Note making. Note making is also one of the integral in one of the important parts for writing. So although our notes are only read by ourselves, and we don't need to be very worried about its structure, but still they should be clear so that later we can easily understand our own notes. Usually the things we are going to use in our notes are headings, listing, abbreviations, and symbols. Usually the thing that we need more to use in our writing, in our note making, is abbreviations. So we should be careful about this one as well. We should not use abbreviations too much because we will forget them later when we finish our notes. Now let's move to another important topics in academic writing, that's paraphrase. So paraphrase is the changing of the text of someone through the use of words and structures, except the meaning. So paraphrase is very important in academic writing. And paraphrasing doesn't mean only shortening a text. Paraphrase means to say or write something in your own words, except losing the meaning, and also not copying the other words and structures. So paraphrasing is mostly used in summary writing, but it doesn't mean to summarize a text. It's not only about summarizing a text. It's the changing of words and structures, not the meaning in not summarizing a text. Paraphrasing is a solution for plagiarism. Yes, you are not supposed to copy or imitate someone's words, someone's structures, and someone's ideas. You can write someone's ideas in your own words. So, in case you are writing someone's own words and phrases and structures, you need to cite them. You need to give the credit to the writer. You need to mention whose the words are. In case you are not mentioning, you can write in your own words and then mention or reference the person. So, for example, we can paraphrase in different ways. So, here's an example. Evidence of a lost civilization has been found off the coast of China. So, we can paraphrase this sentence by changing the words and the structure. So, see, remains of an ancient society have been discovered in the sea near China. So, this is changed through the words and structures, but still the meaning is the same, only the words and the structures are different. So, good paraphrase is the one which is very different from the original one, but not losing the meaning. The meaning is the same, but it's very different from the original one in terms of words and structures. So there are techniques for paraphrasing. So, for example, changing the vocabulary. The first one is to change the vocabulary. Anytime you are going to paraphrase, so first thing, you need to change the words. You need to change the lexis. For instance, in case of the do, you can change it for the word perform. And also, the second thing is to change the word class, the parts of speech, to basic sickness. So you can change the parts of speech. If the word by the original author is the verb, you can change it to the noun. If the word by the original author is the noun, you can change it to the verb. So you need to change the word class, the part of speech. And the third thing is changing the order of the words. Usually this can be like, generally we can see you can change from active to passive or from passive to active, or any other structures, maybe the sentence structures. You can for example break down if it's a complex sentence or compound sentence into one sentence or into 2 or 3 more other sentences. So here's an example. The students were trained for new things. Students were taught some new techniques. Both sentences mean the same thing, but the structures are different. The wording or the order of the word is different. Yes, and that's all for academic writing. We talk about titles, purpose, register, and paraphrasing. Thank you for your attention.